Hey guys, it's Dr. The Rice and Raw, and welcome to another What I Eat video. So yesterday I had for breakfast 4 beautifully ripe mangoes. They were so delicious, so perfectly ripe. I got them for $1 each at Stop & Shop. They were on sale, and usually around this time in the winter months, mangoes are really hard to find, especially mangoes that are going to ripen properly. Usually you'll cut them open and they will be brown on the inside. So these were just a beautiful treat to have after a couple months of not having any mangoes other than some frozen mangoes. So this is really exciting. And then I made my lunch before I went off to work. And what I had for lunch was 15 medjool dates and a cup, maybe like 3/4 a cup to a cup of frozen cherries, and I blended that together. It was all right. I honestly like the frozen blueberries and dates combo much better, but I didn't have frozen blueberries at the time, so frozen cherries just had to do the job. And I drank that during work. I find the date smoothies are very easy to drink because they're not as thick and they're super sweet. I got off of work kind of early and I came back and had a little quick snack. And yes, I did have cooked food before 4. Woo! Honestly, I do not eat perfectly. I'm not here to show you guys how to eat perfectly. If you want to know how to eat perfectly, you know, go look at Fully Raw Christina. So I'm here to show you guys that you don't need to eat perfectly 100% to the T, 80-10-10 to still get amazing benefits from it. I personally do not eat perfectly. I don't always eat the healthiest option, but I still have all of my cravings under control. I still have loads of energy. I still wake up refreshed and just jumping out of bed. I still keep a lean and trim body, and I am still so incredibly happy. So if every once in a while, if I get off work early, I feel like some cooked food, I allow myself that because that's okay. Raw to 4 is more of a concept of you're getting at least half, if not more, of your calories from raw fruits. So yesterday I had about half as what is in this picture. I did it again, guys. My eyes are way too big for my stomach. So I had half of that rice, half of the avocado, and what's pictured there is 1/4 of an avocado. So I had 1/8 of an avocado, a few of those nori wraps, and a little bit of light soy sauce and sriracha. So I had this meal at around 2 o'clock, and then I studied for 4.5 hours. So I just sat there and studied, no activity at all. And then at around 8 o'clock, I was so hungry, I was getting hangry, and my boyfriend and I were like, what are we going to eat? We don't feel like anything in the fridge. I just don't feel like eating, but I know I'm hungry, I know I need to eat. We both have that issue. So I was like, hey, why don't we just order takeout? And he was like, yep, I'll go pick it up. You know, he didn't miss a beat on that. So what we ordered, we shared an order of vegetable dumplings and vegetable chow fun. Now, this is not the healthiest thing in the world, but it is delicious. And actually, the vegetable dumplings seem pretty healthy. Of course, I asked ahead of time, any eggs, fish, sauces. So always look out for that when you go to Asian restaurants. They don't use butter or milk usually, but you gotta watch out for the fish sauce especially, and also they do add eggs to a lot of dishes. So I checked for that, everything was fine. And I had about 6 of these dumplings. I'm going to show you a picture of what the dumplings kind of looked like. I forgot to take a picture. I was way too hungry. I was like, I don't care. I'm eating. So that's what I had of that. And then for the chow fun, I did have a good portion of the chow fun. It was pretty oily though. Yeah, pretty oily. Not something I have regularly. I would usually just go with the vegetable dumplings, but I was just so hungry by this time. I was like, I don't care, just feed me. So I had about a cup of this chow fun. I also forgot to take a picture. So here's a picture of what the chow fun kind of looks like. The issue with chow fun is that although it's wonderful and it's rice noodles, is that they really cook it down to like an inch of its life, and not even. Like the broccoli, every vegetable in there is so cooked down, it is like completely dead. I honestly have this type of meal, something similar to this, some kind of Asian restaurant food, about once a week. Usually I try to opt for the healthier options such as rice with vegetables. Honestly, sometimes I would just order plain old rice. Usually I'll go for sushi if they do have sushi, some kind of vegetable sushi. My favorite sushi these days are the shiitake mushroom and avocado sushi. I find that it gives this amazing, like, deep flavor to the sushi. I absolutely love it. So if you ever see that on the menu, check it out. Hopefully the restaurant will do it justice, because the sushi that I've had is just delicious. So that is what I ate yesterday. As you can see, not perfect, and you don't need to be perfect, so don't beat yourself up. And that is just what breaks my heart when I see people doing really well and they make one little mistake. Not even a mistake in my mind. It's like, oh, they have a cup of rice at night, and they're just beating themselves up about it. Take a deep breath. It's okay. From what I've experienced, 80-10-10 is actually a very forgiving lifestyle. You are not going to gain weight instantly if you have some cooked food or a higher fat meal or a meal with more processed food. And yes, you must also understand how your body works with these things. Try them out. If they don't work for you, don't do them. Find what works for you. And 80-10-10 is a great starting point, and it's taken me almost a year and a half to get to this point where I can kind of mold 80-10-10 into my lifestyle, into what works for me. And I do suggest for people first trying out 80-10-10 is to follow the book a little more carefully. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying go out and eat Asian food every single day of the week. I'm not saying, you know, totally scratch raw till 4, but every once in a while, if you kind of break away from your traditional pattern a little bit, you know, treat yourself or so on, it's not going to make a huge impact on your progress. And what I remember Josh Ferguson saying a while back, I remember watching this video, and he said, you're allowed to eat whatever you want, but you have to look at the consequences as to what this food has on your body, like what effect it has on you. If you have a high-fat meal and you know that it's going to make you sluggish, and you know that might not help with any weight loss, but you're okay with it and you're going to commit to that, and it's kind of like a well thought out process, then that's your decision to make. So if you don't eat perfectly one day, don't worry about it. Just move on to the next day. Make sure you get in your breakfast. Breakfast for me is the most important meal of the day, because that's when I 100% make sure I get in enough fruit. And lunch usually is also the same way. I need to make sure I get in enough fruit. Then that kind of leaves me a little wiggle room for the rest of the day if I choose to have something, say, as Asian takeaway. Alright guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you later.